with one of the NGOs in Egypt, the miracle has started. Our stars today were blind girls trying to communicate with themselves and with the world around them. Through Light and Hope Orchestra, they are reaching their goals. Mrs. Amal Fikry, Vice Chair of Al-Noor wa Al-Amal Association, who is considered the heart of the orchestra, tells us today about the first page of the story.
Al-Noor Al-Amal. Our association was founded in 1954 as the first center in the Middle East and Egypt for the education, vocational training, care, and integration in the society of blind girls and women. At the beginning, we only had the school and the vocational training programs. In '61, the founder of the association, Mrs. Istiklal Radi, with the help of Dr. Samha Al-Kholi, who had just came back from England with a PhD in musicology, they established Al-Noor Al-Amal Music Institute as any regular school, primary, secondary, and high school. The girls attended the regular school, Al-Noor Al-Amal, in the morning and the music lessons in the afternoon. They had a double education. At the end of their education, they had the Egyptian High Certificate and a music certificate. After that, they could go to university, any university or any higher school for music. Al-Noor Al-Amal was given a piece of land 30 years ago in Nasr City for further development of new projects. In Nasr City, now we have a model kindergarten, a welcome school for blind girls who do not live in Cairo and who go to universities in Cairo or they have a job in Cairo. And we have a cultural center to teach the girls how to use the modern computers. In this cultural center, we also have a library of regular books, a library of books written in Braille, and books recorded on tape. We also have 4 branches in Egypt, Port Said, Tanta, Beni Suef, and Mansoura. Now I come back to the Music Institute, who has become the most important part of the association. At the beginning, we had a group of about 15 girls who played together music as an ensemble. And the first performance they gave outside the premises of the association was in the Opera House in Cairo. After that, the number of musicians started to increase gradually, and the girls performed in schools, in universities, in clubs, in hotels, in embassies, at conference centers, and until their number reached more than 30 musicians. At that time, they gave a very successful performance at مسرح الجمهورية, which was the best theater in Cairo at that time. This performance was recorded by the media, the Egyptian newspapers, foreign newspapers, Egyptian television, foreign television, and this was in '87. At that time, we said, if the girls have reached this nice and standard of performance, perhaps we can travel abroad.
النور مكانه في القلوب، أحضن خيوط شمس الغروب، يا تكون قد الحياة يا تعيش وحيد وسط الدروب. اليأس ضعف وخوف جبان، لكن الأمل يفتح بيبان.
At that time, I knew the Egyptian ambassador to Austria. I contacted him and asked him if he could arrange for our orchestra to perform in Austria. Alhamdulillah, he was lucky, and the first trip our orchestra had made abroad was in Austria in '88. And the first performance was the best theater in Austria, in Vienna, in the Rathaus. This performance was published in all the papers and all the televisions all over Europe, and it was a very, very big success. It was said about our girls that the girls at Nurul Amal are the 4th pyramid on the Giza Plateau. The girls at Nurul Amal have brought music to Austria. The girls at Nurul Amal have brought culture to Austria. They were so successful that Austria invited our girls the following year in '89. After that, invitations started to arrive from England, Sweden, Germany, Spain, Greece, Arab world. And eventually the girls started to perform in many, many places. Until today, they performed in 5 continents, in 25 countries around the world, 14 European countries, 5 Arab countries, 4 Asian countries, Australia, and Canada. lot of friends, Egyptian friends and foreign friends. I got the help of many people to arrange our trips abroad. Egyptian ambassadors, foreign ambassadors living in Cairo. The foreign ambassadors living in Cairo organized our trip to Spain and our trip to Thailand. And many Egyptian ambassadors also helped our orchestra to perform abroad, like in Australia, in India, in Qatar, in Malta, in Germany, and also we were invited by blind institutions abroad, in Canada and in Spain. We were invited also by cultural organizations like in Japan and in Kuwait. So really, the different contacts I had arranged for us to really go around the world and let our orchestra perform in the best theaters, in the best capitals around the world. Our latest trip was in China a month ago. And this trip was really very, very successful. First, the girls performed in Hong Kong, and then they performed in China itself, in Zhuhai and Guangzhou. This trip was most successful, and the Chinese people said that they would like to invite us again to visit their capital in Beijing. Really, I'm really very happy that our girls are able to travel around the world, and that an Egyptian orchestra made such a success abroad. It's the image of Egypt, and it's the publicity for Egypt that today Egypt is taking care of the disabled and help them to reach very successful aims. I must tell you that really all the families of the girls who are learning music in our institute are very cooperative, and they are very proud that their girls could play music and be able to travel abroad. For them, it is something very special. They are very happy that their girls have reached this honor to be applauded by people outside Egypt. At the beginning, here in Egypt, we gave a lot of performances at the Opera House, at reputed hotels in many cities. But now the girls and our orchestra is getting to be known more and more. Because of their trips abroad, they have made a lot of media has written about them, and they are having a lot of coverage here in Egypt about their trips and their performances here in Egypt. Our music institute, as I said, is like any music school all over the world. But there is only one difference, that the music notes have to be written in Braille. So our girls, they read the notes in Braille and try to use the instrument they are performing. Gradually, they touch the Braille with their fingers, and then they try to play the instrument. They touch the Braille with their fingers, and then they try to play with the instruments. After a certain time, somebody is reading for them the notes, and they are performing. And then gradually, all the girls who are playing the instrument play together. Somebody is reading for them the notes, and they play all together the same part. Twice a week, all the instruments are playing together, and this is the most difficult part. The maestro has to put harmony and ask and tell them when these instruments can come in, when these instruments can go out, when to slow, when to rise. So it is a lot of work for the maestro and the girls during the rehearsal. And it is during the rehearsal that they learn how to play together as an orchestra, and without reading the notes and without seeing the maestro.
In the beginning, the junior orchestra of Hope and Light are very well-trained orchestra with experienced girls who playing orchestral instruments. The process of choosing a piece for them, beginning with choosing what we want to play. Is it Oriental or Western piece? And we're looking for the partitura and the score, if it suits them or not for their level. And then we take it for trial writing for them because they are blind, of course. And they start to practice it individually, then in sections. Then we hold the orchestra here, and we start the rehearsals to make this music live. Of course, there is some problems we face, and here is comes my action to fix the problems with them. It takes some time, really, to improve the level of the piece step by step, but in the end, it comes to life perfectly, and we perform it in very, very high level for audience.
كويس زي ما احنا. أعلى شوية يا بنات، أحسنت، برافو.
When you working with ordinary people who are really see, okay, you can contact with them with your hands, with your giving them some signals with your hand. You don't have to speak, maybe with your eyes, maybe with your face expression. But when you dealing here in Hope and Light Junior Orchestra, all you have is your voice, your speech and your words. You have to choose your words carefully, okay, to guide them to do what exactly you want them to do, okay. This process really taking much effort, because for a composer and a conductor like me, it is the ordinary way is just dealing with people, okay. But in this special case, okay, all the time I have to be careful dealing with them. Each word I say, everything I want them to do, okay. Maybe I don't use words, maybe I use phrases to express what really I want them to do. But in the end, it is okay.
Unfortunately, this year, our maestro, Dr. Ali Osman, who was with the girls and with our association for more than 20 years, unfortunately passed away while he was going to attend a performance in a hotel. He arrived at the hotel, but he did not make it to the stage. In spite of that, our girls performed on that day without a maestro. But after that, when they heard that he had passed away, they were they collapsed. Now we have a maestro who used to be with the junior orchestra. He is taking care of the main orchestra. And we have another maestro for the junior orchestra. They play classical music, as I said, and they play also for Oriental music with the instruments of the symphony orchestra. So the Oriental music and the Egyptian music is performed with the instruments of the symphony orchestra. It is the maestro who chooses the different pieces of music that they are going to perform. And normally, when we are invited abroad, we always ask for the host country to send us the partitura of a very popular music in their country. And here we write it in Braille, and the girls study it and perform it. And when we travel, we do not include this piece of music in our program, but they play it as encore after the end of the performance and just as a compliment to the audience. We have one of our musicians. She is taking care of doing this job, and she has people who help her. A sighted person is reading the notes, the regular notes, and he is dictating them to our musician, and she writes them in Braille. After that, she makes every part separated, part for the violin, part for the flute, part for the oboe, part for the cello, and they give all those parts are given to the girls with the different instruments. And that's how every girl is playing her own part with her instrument. our girls performed with another orchestra. The first time it was in Japan. Our girls performed with the Junior Philharmonic Orchestra of Tokyo. Each sighted person from Japan was leading the companion sitting next to him to her chair. And then they performed together, and it was a very, very big success. The second time our girls performed with a sighted orchestra was in France. They performed in Segré with the local orchestra of amateurs. The French conductor was conducting the performance, and after the performance he said that our girls, the Nurul Amal girls, played much better than his own students.
يا تعيش وحيد وسط الدروب. في ناس كتير ترضى المصير، وناس تشوف بضمير ضرير. يا تكون قد الحياة، يا تعيش وحيد وسط الدروب.
Because of the great effort that the members of the orchestra are making, the Institute of Light and Hope and Nur al Amal always organizes trips for the musicians to entertain them, as Mrs. Fikry said.
Here in Egypt, we try to make outings for them, to go to a boat on the Nile, or to go to Luna Park, or to go to visit a city like a sea resort. We do have small trips for them here in Egypt, and sometimes they have 2 days in a summer resort, or they go to Alexandria, or they go to Fayed. I mean, we try to make to give them time to enjoy the holidays with us and all together. every year we have new students. So every year we have new people, very young people, they have 7 or 8 years, they come and join the Music Institute. They go to school in the morning and then they come and study music. So every year we have a new group who is trying to learn music. It's a school, so we have many generations. So our orchestra, the orchestra that went around the world, is composed of 4 generations. We have girls who are 15 years old and girls and women who are 55. We have 4 generations in the orchestra. And now we are trying to teach the 5th generation. Well, you know, the music is something very special. And especially for blind people, it gives them a way to express their feelings. And when they study music and they love the music and they love their instruments, it's like having a companion, and it helps them a lot to be happy and to enjoy life.
Shaima Yahya, one of the most clever and talented musicians you may ever meet, tells us about her love for music and her relation with the orchestra.
First of all, I started as a student here at the Nile Amal School. I have ever heard about a Nile Amal institution for music. I was in the boarding sector here, and I listened to music coming from down. So I insist on following the sound of this music. I descend the stairs till I find that there is a floor in this second floor, and there are lots of girls. They are playing music and they have their instruments, and I really wondered, yani, oh wow, it's very nice. What is it? I began to ask, and I know that there is an institution here for learning music, and I love the idea very much because I love music since I was a child. And I asked, how can I join? They told me that you can tell the director. He passed away now, Dr. Ahmed Abu Eid. And I went there and I asked for Mrs. Nagat, and I made a test, and thanks to Allah I succeed, and he found that I have a musical sense, and I passed all the tests and began studying musical schools here. I chose my instrument. I'd like to tell you that the first year we study here the theoretical part of music, how to read the note in Braille and how to recognize each symbol in Braille. Next year, when the director bring me to choose, to see what's the suitable instrument for me, I asked him, please, I love violin very much, because I had a friend, she was older than me, and she was one of my closest friends. So I love this girl very much, and she was playing me violin, and every day I was staying with her and looking at her when she's playing, and I love the position of violin and the music of violin very much. So when he checked me, he found my fingers and everything is suitable for violin, so I was very happy to be suitable for this instrument. I feel that really my violin is a part of parcel. This is a part of me. Sometimes I feel that she's my friend. Okay, so if I'm angry, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'd like to come to her and narrate to her what happened to me all the day. And by playing on it, I'm trying to get my feelings out of my heart through the violin. Sometimes I feel she's like my daughter, because you know that every day I I bring it out of the box and I'm cleaning it. Sometimes I put perfumes for her, some cream. Really, I feel that she's my daughter and I'm taking care of her, because I love my violin very, 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 very much. Sometimes I feel that she is my lover, you know. That if I need to feel that I'm in love or in love story, I bring my violin and I'm playing something sensitive to feel that really I'm living this, in this world. So my violin takes me to many, many, many worlds and makes me escape from this abstract and ridiculous world that we are living now.
Well, you know, that there is already a lot of schools helping the disabled. And inshallah, next year, 2018, will be the year of special needs. They will take more care about all the people who have a disabled people. So the government is really taking care of a lot of people, and a country that takes care of the people who are disabled is really it's a country that's really looking for the people and the people who need help.
This group of photos for the orchestra Light and Hope are by the international photographer Fernando Molares from Spain, who has many prizes and found in the members of the orchestra a very interesting story.
I think now the girls and the women are studying, and they have high school certificates, and they can apply to different jobs, and women are in many, many high posts in Egypt. They are ambassador, women ambassador, women minister, women governor. I mean, it's a big, big change for the women in the last 10 or 15 years. The girls in the orchestra have also a lot of vision to be somebody. I mean, all our girls do not only study music, many of them are graduate from different universities. Some are in the media, some are studying languages, some are studying music, and they all want to be in higher places and always to be better than what they are now.
The Noor Wal Amal Light and Hope Chamber Orchestra, consisting of 40 visually impaired women from 4 generations, capture the hearts of audiences during their visits wherever they play.
Now, gradually, our girls they are asked to perform in many places. People are more aware that there is classical music than before. Before it was only at the opera and special theaters. Now they perform in many places where just the normal audience is there, and the normal audience is happy to hear classical music.
All musicians at the orchestra and other members of Noor Wal Amal use only superlatives to describe Fikry's spirit and involvement in the association and her particular commitment to the orchestra. Dedicated, loving, supportive, caring, encouraging, confidential, trustworthy are among the adjectives that recur in their comments.